Good morning, all of you. So today we'll discuss about the Kepler's law of planetary motion and its related applications here. On this one, but if you look at the advanced paper, till now we don't have any questions on Kepler's law. But most of the books is what happened, they have focused on the Kepler's law of planetary motion. So just we'll go for it. In NCT book also there's a discussion, but till now there is no question in advance based on the Kepler's law of planetary motion, but can be asked. We can't say that it is not. It's out of syllabus. That one. If not Kepler's law, at least numericals can be asked because it's all based on the elliptic ellipse, the geometry of ellipse. If you know it, it'll be very easy. So anyway, like a few small basics of ellipse, no, we'll have some background. Then we'll go for it. So it'll be on safer side. Okay, first we'll take the idea of the ellipse. So as we know, this is the are you able to hear me clearly?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Okay, some I think check your internet connection. Somebody is saying voice is crackling.
Yes, sir.
Sir, now it's okay, sir.
Shall I continue?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
No, basically we'll have some small idea regarding the ellipse here. So what is a ellipse? I think it's a special case of a circle only. This is called like semi-major axis, semi-minor axis. This distance usually PB, this will call A. It will have two foci. Foci 1, foci 2. If it is only one, we'll call focus. If there are two focus, we'll call it as foci. F1, F2 are called as a foci here, that one. Okay, there's a one basic small condition, that one. So this is called like A is called as semi-major axis. Okay, agree, no? So there's a one condition. Then so what about the some relationship that so if this is the distance R1 I call, okay, let me give another diagram. Let me choose one of the foci. It'll be easier. So this distance from the near point, we'll call it, and let this distance be R2. Okay, fine. No? So let this be the AE. Let this be E, where E is called as eccentricity. Where E is called as eccentricity. So it is a distance from the midpoint. This distance will become AE, that one. So what is E? E is the eccentricity. The value of this now, if I go for geometry, it will be AE square plus B square. Or you can write expression for B or A, whatever that one, or the eccentricity will be in terms of by A. All you are going to learn in mathematics, just I'm making you to, because these things is what I'll be using that one. Now,
Sir,
yeah,
sir, you told A is semi-major axis, right?
yeah. No, the further distance will be taken like this. A is semi-major axis. That one. Okay, now after this, so what is R1? R1, can I write it as A minus AE? What is R2? Will be A plus AE. So these are the things what we'll get it. Okay, we'll get R1 and R2 like this here. So what are R1? R1, this is called like a near point. Near point, farther point. All this are their mathematics because I'll be using here and there. So therefore, I'm just creating background here. Okay, after this, still somebody there. I'm switching off the video. Somebody by accident will turn on, no, and that's switching off video so that it will disturb everyone. Huh? Okay, don't take it in another way because anybody turning on their video, I'm switching off it. Huh? Just only not to have disturbance in the class. Huh? Fine. No, this is called, it's called as eccentricity. The near point and the farther point are given by this particular equation, or a into 1 minus c, a into this one. What is this eccentricity? So what is the significance of that? Is what, and sir, what are the values of it? What values it can take? If e equal to 0, if e equal to 0, r1 equal to e and r2 equal to e, then how that it become a circle? Okay, clear this one. So as I further increase, so it will be like this. Huh? This is for e equal to some rough value equal to 0 point. Still it's an ellipse. Then if I make e equal to 0.99, and for equal to 1, it will be straight line. And we'll be discussing some problems like this, some application problems. So let's have a background. So the value of E matters a lot here. The value of E will determine what is that actually the shape of that ellipse. Hmm? So therefore now, what is this ellipse? Shall I say it's a uh, special case of circle only, to be frank. So this is a circle, e equal to 0, e equal to 1 will become straight line, and the value of e between 0 and 1, the ellipse is going to have different shape. So when we are discussing some problems, no, sometimes we'll get ellipse like this. Hmm. So sometimes we get an ellipse of like this here. So any reason for that? It all depends on value of e. So how do I come to know? The situation will be given in the problem in such a way that you can assume that suitable shape. So you are going to learn in detail in mathematics. So don't bother again anything about learning ellipse in detail. So who don't know ellipse, this is enough. What do you mean by semi-major axis, semi-minor axis? What is the near point, farther point? What is this F? F will call it as focus. And F1 and F2 are called as foci. These are some just basics of ellipse. And equation of ellipse, I think everyone you know it. X square plus a square plus y square plus b square is equal to 1. So there's the equation everyone knows. So I'll keep that one. Since if a equal to b, then it'll become circle. I think equation of ellipse. If a equal to b, then it will become x square plus y square equal to a square. That will become equation of circle. Even I feel if you don't know this particular all mathematics also you can manage because we are bothered about our laws, conservation of Anglo term, conservation of mechanical engineering. Some numericals, if you go for Olympiad somewhere, no, they are asking based on this also. So you should be a little bit careful. Huh? Okay, let's get into this one. So now we are discussing the planetary motion. So for the planetary motion, so Kepler's law of planetary motion. Now he suggested that all planets revolve around Sun in elliptical orbit with Sun at one of the foci. With Sun at now, there's a law he has proposed. This is nothing but called as law of orbits here. Now, what are the orbits here now? So, what is the condition? If the energy of the system, if it is negative, no, then the planets are going to revolve in a closed orbit. So, regarding this one, just telling if the total energy of a planet is negative, then then the orbits will be closed. Closed means what are the closed orbits? Example, closed orbits are what? Like what are closed orbits? Closed orbits are circle and elliptical. These are called as a closed orbits. Next again is putting one more condition. If energy of a planet is greater than 0, the orbits will be open. Now, what do you mean by open? Open orbits is telling. What are open orbits? Parabola, like a parabola, hyperbola. These are not like, so you look at some comets, no? They will not describe periodic motion. So those particular, if you go and check the energy of that particular comet, so what it is, it will be like a greater than 0. Then in that case, what happens? The orbits will be parabola or hyperbola. So this about the first law of orbits is what is telling. So what we have to check it like, when you calculate the energy of planet, is it positive or negative, or energy of any revolving body about any some other thing. So check particular energy. If it is less than 0, it's like closed orbit. It can be circle or ellipse, and the eccentricity of that, the value of E or the eccentricity will determine how the shape of the ellipse. Already we have just seen that for different values of E. Clear this one? Then now what will happen if the energy of a planet, if it is greater than or equal to 0, greater than or equal to 0. I'll put condition. So here, if it's greater than or equal to 0, then it will be open orbits. What are open orbits? Parabola. These are not like a periodic motion. Periodic motion will not describe. The planet will not describe periodic motion. Here what will happen? The planet describe periodic motion. Motion of planet will not be periodic. Okay, this much is what he is telling next year. There's the first law. Okay, fine. So this about is saying more about what, like type of orbits, everything, that one. So now we'll go for the second law. First law is called a law of orbits. Regarding based on the energy, what happened is classifying the type of orbits here. Okay, let's go for the second law. Second law, what is say that the aerial velocity of planet remains constant, or the line joining the line joining to the planet and sun will sweep equal area in equal intervals of time. The basic law, right? The line joining the planet and sun will sweep equal area in equal intervals of time, or nothing but the aerial velocity of a planet remains constant. We'll see like how this is going to help us a lot. The aerial velocity of a planet remains constant. Okay, let's get into the mathematics of this one. So first, let me show that what do you mean by that aerial velocity and how it will be constant. And if they're constant, what is the use of for us? So in physics, what we are bothered, okay, there's a law. Okay, how to utilize this law? How do it is going to help us in solving numerical? That's what I'm going to stress now. Later on in the end, I'll put the conditions for this law. When these laws are valid, under what conditions, what should be the type of force, everything. First, we'll learn the law properly. Then I'll come to some conditions, under what circumstance these are valid. Okay, what is saying? The planet revolve in elliptical orbit with sun as one foci. Okay, I think we have ellipse in our diagram. Okay, this is a semi-major axis. So sun with sun at one of the foci. Sun, no? Okay, now the planet is initially, let's assume that it is at a distance after some time. At t equals 0, the sun is at A and let it be at B. Okay, will I agree? This is one of the foci I know. This is the sun. The planet is here. I'm showing like a dot. The planet is here. In a small interval of time, it will move from A to B. In a small interval of time, it will move from A to B, that one. So let me go for further. Oh. I'll just extend it by a small distance. The radius vector SSB. This is sun. No? SB I'll extend by a small distance. At t equals 0, it is here. After some time t equal to or delta t, whatever if you want, you can write it. After some time t equal to t, it will be here the planet and it will be moving in elliptical orbit. What is this? This is an orbit. This is a path of planet here. How do it will have? It will have tangential velocity. And what happened to its speed? It will be different at different points. Let me take time being. There's a tangential velocity here. So let this angle be equal to theta. This is a 90. Okay, let me take this is h. So what is this? This is like some sort of position vector, no? R bar. This particular total thing. So shall we call this like a position vector? Line joining the sun and planet will sweep equal area and equal intervals of time. That's called aerial velocity. That aerial velocity remains constant. That is what I had to show that particular thing. And what that aerial velocity constant, and when it becomes constant, what it is equal to. So let me take this is alpha. Okay, let's get into the mathematics here. So in a small interval of time, what is the distance covered? AB should be equal to VT. So this A and B will lie very close so that almost the speed remains constant. Will assume, but in fact at different points speed will be different here. So what is AB? AB equal to V into T from the triangle. So if you have this, I think this is AB, this is H. What is sine alpha? We can write as H by AB. Sine alpha I can write as by. What is sine alpha? Alpha is 180 minus theta. This will become straight line. Alpha plus theta, 180 degrees. So therefore alpha will be sine of 180 minus theta. So this will become only sine theta. So sine theta equal to H by AB. What we have to write it? What is H is equal to? H is equal to now AB sine theta. Further, what is AB? VT. So what is H is equal to? VT V delta T, or okay, we'll do one thing. Let me write V delta T. Let me take some interval so that writing equations will be easier. No, what is this? Somebody mute it. Mr. P. Arjun, always you'll unmute, no? Every day I'm muting you. Some Pedola, Arjun, every day I'm muting you. Okay, this one. So now what is area? So there's a line joining the sun. There's a radius vector, no? And SAB is now radius vector. Now afterwards SB will be radius vector. So it will sweep equal areas in equal intervals of time. So what is that area? Area will take it to be like this. Actually, there's a yellow color is what? Shaded area. This area what it will sweep. So now I'll just slightly take small element area like this. Now you can ask question. So what is that blue color? Will be very small, negligible one. That additional area I'm adding, no, it will be very small and will be negligible. So therefore, what all I calculate that I can see one triangle here. I can see some triangle, and what is this total distance? So either you measure from S to B or B dash. Both are same, no? So for our understanding purpose, we'll write it here only. SB or SB dash. Approximately equal, let it be equal to R. And we know it's like a triangle. Right angle triangle it will come. So what is the area of this triangle? Because this is the area I'm interested. So what is the expression for area? Area delta A. This should be equal to half into base into height. Fine. So like this, I'm slowly taking help of some mathematics here. I know the area of blue color, what happens, actually it is, the planet will not move like this, no? The planet will not move like this. The planet will move in elliptical orbit here. There's a small elemental area I'm adding this one. This will be negligible. Okay, what is H is equal to? V delta T sine theta. Now delta A by delta T. I'm interested in this one. This should be equal to half into RV sine theta. What is delta A by delta T? What is delta A? Delta A is what? Area swept. So what is this area? Delta A, that one. And look at this one, RV sine theta, I'm writing it. So what can be RV sine theta? aerial velocity of a planet. What is aerial velocity? Change in area by interval of time. Like how we have delta S average velocity, how you define displacement by time taken. Similarly here, the area swept by time taken will become the area velocity, and that is equal to what will happen? Half RV sine theta. What is that half RV sine theta we can equate? Well, let's do one thing. Let me take help of this condition. So what is the angular momentum of planet? So look at this. This will be, what is the angle between R bar and V bar? R bar, shall I put it here? This R bar. What is the angle between R bar and V bar? Theta. So what is the angular momentum of planet about sun? So shall we write it is equal to R bar cross P bar, or R bar cross MV bar, or RMV sine theta. So what is this RV sine theta? We can write L by M. Aerial velocity, shall I write like this? We don't have any specific symbol. So in place of RV sine theta, what we can write? L by M. Look at this L now. L is what called as angular momentum of the planet about sun. What is L? So like this, I'm showing that the aerial velocity is constant. How can you, now you can ask questions. How can you say that aerial velocity is constant? How can you say that angular momentum is constant? Because if L constant, then aerial velocity is constant here. Okay, since we know rotation mechanics torque idea, so when angular momentum will change, when torque is acting. So if at all, if any force is acting, suppose the planet moves in elliptical orbit, I think it's books, it's not there, the derivation, that's why I just shown the derivation. Huh? Okay, now let's do one thing. Planet is here. I'll put a dot. Planet means dot. MP, you write it. Mass of the planet is M. This is sun. How the force will be acting on it? How the force will act? Gravitational attractive force, F1, when it is at position 1. When planet comes here, the force will act along line joining. So let me take 2 or 3 positions. No, when the planet is at several points, you see that how the gravitational attractive force will act here. It will act towards along line joining the planet and sun. What you can say now? What is the torque about the sun due to this gravitation? Because what is the only force acting? Gravitational attractive force. So what is the net torque set up by gravitational force about sun? Will be 0 at all the positions. So if net torque is 0, what will happen to angular momentum of planet? Will be conserved. Like this, what happened? The Kepler, what happened, is able to justify his ideas here. So what is the net torque? Net torque is 0. Net torque of the planet about sun will be 0. What is axis? Axis will be passing through sun perpendicular to plane of the diagram. And the force will intersect axis of rotation. So therefore, the torque will be 0, that one. So here I'll write explanation. The gravitational attractive force intersects axis of rotation. So what is the axis of rotation? So net torque is 0. We'll write it. So net torque about an axis passing through the sun and perpendicular to the plane of motion.
Sir,
So net torque about an axis passing through sun and plane of motion is 0. Let me finish off. You can come afterwards. Let me finish off. I'm in between. Okay, this is about the thing, that one. Next again, because of net torque is 0, so what happened to angular momentum of planet? So therefore, angular momentum of planet is conserved. Don't say remains constant. Angular momentum of planet is conserved. Means if it is here, if it is having speed v1, here if it is having speed v4. Any relationship can you write here? No? I'll just write r bar cross p bar is constant. Between any 2 points, you can write it here. Because here L1, so or later on we'll go for angular momentum of planet is constant. So L1 is equal to L2 is equal to L3 equal to L4 equal to L5 equal to L6. Between any 2 points, you can equate and you'll get some equations. So one easier one is what I'll show it. V1 R1 is equal to M into V4 R4. So how do you can say net torque is 0? It's quite clear, no? The forces are intersecting axis of rotation. So net torque is 0, so angular momentum is conserved. But you can't write here, what is that? M1 V1 equal to M V1 R1 equal to M V2 R2, because what is the angle here? How the velocity will be at this particular point? How the velocity? Velocity will not be perpendicular to radius vector, no? Please try to make observations. So what is the angle between R2 and V2? Some non-zero value is there. So therefore, I'm not writing that one, but I'm very sure that one, what is that? V4 and R4 perpendicular. R1 and V1 are perpendicular. So I'm writing this one. You can apply angular momentum between any 2 points. Since in now I'm beginning stage, no, I find very easy between 1 and 4, I wrote this one. Somebody was asking doubt.
Could you once show V aerial formula, sir? I mean,
Yeah, this one.
thank you, sir.
Okay, how aerial velocity is constant? Because the angular momentum is conserved. Angular momentum remains constant. So angular momentum remains constant. If you measure at any point, no, it will be conserved. Between 2 points, angular momentum is conserved. No, angular momentum is in fact constant here. So therefore, aerial velocity is constant. And that's what the Kepler's second law. What is it? The line joining the planet and sun will sweep equally in equal intervals of time. The aerial velocity of planet remains constant. How it is constant is what? I've shown that one. So I brought aerial velocity in terms of L, and I'm showing that L is a constant. Okay, I agree now. I have proved second law. Okay, I think this is what needed. Nobody will ask you all this in exam, so you should know how it has come. So one law I am introduced. What is that? Conservation of angular momentum. Can you apply when you solve problems related to elliptical orbits? The answer is yes. Answer is yes. That one. Okay. After this, we'll go for what are the other things I can take help here. Okay, I got this one. So what are any other laws? Conservation of mechanical energy. Can I take help of that? So let me similarly. Okay, let's take this one, and sun is at foci. Let me not show semi-minor axis, only semi-major axis. Let me show it. Or we'll take that also, no problem. So these are some planet. So sun is here. It's one of the foci, and this be the planet. So these are the positions. There's a planet. Sun will be fixed. In fact, if you go and check it, no, even nowadays we have a proof that even Sun is also orbiting. Okay, let's assume that we don't know modern solar system. We are in 15th or 14th century. Let's have that particular idea. So let this distance be R1. Okay, R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, R6, R7, R8, and the velocity at several points, let it be this V1. Make notice of what? Angle between R bar and V bar at several points. So this is some very important thing which will be asked for you in exams. V8. Green colors, I'm showing it here now. No, according to the, you see what is the angle between R6 and V6. So it is more than 90 here, no? Similarly here also more than 90. And if you come for here it is 90 degrees. So at few places it is 90 degree. Angle between R bar and V bar. So what about this? This will be less than 90. Here this you can call theta 2. This angle will be less than 90. This angle will be less than 90. This angle will be more than 90. This R bar, don't call this angle between R bar V bar. This is the angle between R bar V bar. R bar you have to extend. Agreed, all of you? There's a one thing, please do remember, it is going to help you a lot. So this is R5. This is the position 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 6, 7, 8. Let's go for what will happen to the overall speed. Means I'll start with 1. So when it moves from 1 to 2, what will happen to the speed of the planet? Will it increase or decreases? So I can say that from year to year, the speed increases. Who will increase the speed? The same gravitational force. So what gravitational force it is doing? It is providing required centripetal force for it to be in elliptical orbit, and also it is increasing the speed. It is not like a circular orbit where the orbital speed will be constant. Look at the orbital speed here. Right, point to point it will be different. So when it moves from 1 to 3, what happened to the speed of the planet? It will increase. The reason for that, here the force is perpendicular. Very next position here. The angle between F bar and the force will act like this. A component of force will act in the direction along the path, and that will accelerate. So therefore here the speed will increase here. Here it will become perpendicular. Somewhere at an arbitrary point, I'm taking 3. Very next moment, the angle between R bar and F bar will not be 90 degrees. So what will happen to here now? Now the force speed should increase or decrease here. The speed starts decreasing. Because how the force will be acting like this. I think all of you know central force. Okay, this blue color, I'll show it. Some of you are asking, sir, how speed increases. Look at now force and velocity. Anybody can learn just if you draw a diagram, nothing is there. And now look at this. A component of force, what will happen, will act in the direction of the motion. So therefore the speed will increase here. Very next moment, what happened to angle between this F bar and velocity vector will become more than 90. Look at this particular thing. So then a component of force will act opposite to the motion of path. So therefore what will happen to the speed of the planet as it moves from 3 to 5? It decreases, the speed decreases. Okay, now at 5. So what is the force? How the force is acting perpendicular to the velocity vector. Now when it moves from 5 to 6, very next moment you can see that one. How this force is acting. So very next moment again the angle between f bar and the force and the velocity will become less than 90. So the planet orbit will speed up here. So the planet orbit will speed up. So what about here? Here also speed up. So from here to here, what will be the thing that one? It will be speed increases. Next come for this point. So from as it moves from 5 to 7, the speed will increase because a component of force does positive work on the planet. If the force does positive work, gravitational force does positive work, kinetic energy must increase, so speed increases. Now here at 7, the force is perpendicular. Then very next position, the force what happen? The angle between the force and velocity will be more than 90. Then component of force what happen does negative work. So speed starts decreasing. Okay, let's do one thing. What is the use of this? What is this force? Gravitational force, no? And it's a conservative force. When a conservative force does work, what should happen to the mechanical energy? Must remain constant. So when the planet is revolving in elliptical orbit, can we conserve mechanical energy? What do you mean by conservation of mechanical energy? What do you mean by conservation of mechanical energy? I'm saying that as there is a gravitational force is a conservative force, so I can conserve mechanical energy. Mechanical energy is what here? Interaction potential energy between the sun and the planet, and also the kinetic energy of planet, because the sun is fixed here. I can apply conservation of energy between any 2 points. Means can I use can I write a formulas like this? Very next question. S G M1 MS MP R1 plus mass of planet V1 square is equal to minus G MS MP R5 distance from the sun to planet interaction potential G plus mass of planet V5 square. Between any 2 points, I'm showing only this one. Between any 2 points, you can apply conservation of mechanical energy. So therefore, as the gravitational force is a conservative force, I can go for conservation of mechanical energy. Means here, as the planet moves from 1 to 3, this force does positive work. As the planet moves from 3 to 5, the gravitational force does negative work. Then as the planet moves from 5 to 7, the gravitational force does positive work. As it moves from 7 to 1, it does negative work. Net work done will be 0. Because it's a closed path, no? And more it's a conservative force. So again, when it reaches the point 1, what is the speed of that one? Should be V1. Any reason for that? Because it's a conservative force. Work done by conservative force in closed path should be 0. So with what kinetic energy started at 1, with the same kinetic energy, again it will be available here. So like that, what will happen to the speed of the planet? Will remain constant. Now speed of the planet, whenever it arrives at the same initial point, it will have that same velocity. Any number of times it arrive at 1, it will have the same speed. Any number of times let it arrive at 0.5, it will have the speed v5 only. So what are the advantages? This gravitational force is a conservative force, work done by conservative force in closed path 0. So therefore, it will be periodic motion. The speed will not like a first time it started here at 1. After 1 revolution, again when it arrives at 1, it will have same speed because work done by conservative force in closed path is 0. Okay, fine. So now you can apply conservation of angular between any 2 points. Conservation of mechanical energy between any 2 points. I just shown only 1 and 5. Let me show the other things also. If this is the angle, so shall we call this is theta? This is the angle between R bar and V6. Now, what is the conservation of angular momentum? Between 1 and 6, let me apply it. So what is the formula? Okay, I need space. I think if you can understand this, this topic will get over. Only thing is how to write conservation of angular momentum, conservation of mechanical energy, how to apply is what the whole concept here. Okay, I'm looking at the diagram. I'm asking you to write between 1 and 6. Let me show. This is the conservation of angular momentum. How we write here? MPV1R1 is equal to MPV5 R5. Now let's write between 1 and 6 the what is the gravitational potential MS MP R1. Don't think that only 1 5 I can write it between any 2 points minus R6 plus MP V6 whole square. What about the angular momentum? It's considered. So MP V1 R1. This here you should write carefully. Sine theta. Why sine theta? What is the angle between R6 bar and V6? It is theta, is what I'm just giving some angle. You have to write that. You should not write, so, sir, okay, why theta? I'll not bring theta. Because here you didn't write theta here. No, not like that. R bar cross V bar, no, M into R bar cross V bar. Between any 2 points, you can write conservation of momentum, conservation of angular momentum. So therefore, if a planet revolves in elliptical orbit, what is conserved? Angular momentum and mechanical energy is conserved. These are enough. There are 100 numericals are there in the books. All that 100 numericals, you need this concept. That's why I just give in detail all this explanation. So this is about the Kepler's second law. What is the meaning of this here? It's a small statement, but we should really analyze so much here. Sir, what is that? It will sweep equal areas in equal intervals of time. What is the meaning of that? So some of you still are asking that. So what is the meaning of that? Okay, let me. So let the sun be here. It will sweep equal areas in equal intervals of time. I think I can shade this. What do you mean by equal area? So this is A1, A2, P1, P2, P3, P4. This is some area. And what time it takes to move from P1 to P2 and what time it takes to move from P3, P4. Let me calculate that time. So this time let it be delta T12. This time let it be delta T34. You can see some area no here, this area. So what is filling that one? S P1 P2 by delta T1 T2 should be equal to S P3 P4 by delta 34. That is what aerial velocity is constant. It will sweep equal area in equal intervals of time. What is S P1 P2? Area of that sector. What better we can call that one? Or A1 to this you call A34. If you want in the form of symbols, no. Okay, now I'll go to the Kepler's third law. This is about the second law, overall the description of that. Nobody will ask you prove Kepler's second law, but for numerical solving, we need this much of background. What third law says that? The time period of revolution of the planet, the square of time period of revolution of planet is proportional to cube root of semi-major axis. The square of time period of planet is proportional to cube root of semi-major axis of orbit. Okay, how do we can justify this statement here? So again, let me take the elliptical orbit. Cube of, okay, cube root, usually. Cube of semi-major axis. Okay, fine, yeah. And now, let's take help of this only far point and near point. Mass of planet, sun is here. Let me take this is R2, this is R1, this is V1. What are the, just now we have concluded, no? Like, can we conserve angular momentum? Okay, I think I have, okay, this one, I'll proceed like this. So we can conserve angular momentum. So from conservation of angular momentum, V2, R2. What is R1? R1 should be equal to A into A minus A, A plus A. What do you mean by all this? This is A, and this distance, this distance will be A, you know. So therefore, what can be R1? R1 should be equal to this is sun. So what should be the R1? So this R1, this R2. So just now previous problems, I just gave that all the information. So I'm taking help of that one. So from here, if I substituting this, what I'll get? V1 is equal to A into 1 minus C. V2 equal to A into 1 plus C. Then applying the conservation of mechanical energy formula, minus GMS MP R1 plus MP V1 squared applying conservation of mechanical energy. What are unknown things? V1, V2 are unknown. Solving equation 192, I'll get expression for V1 and V2. I'll directly write it. Later on, if you want, you can cross-check it. So what is the expression for V1? V1 will become G into mass of sun by semi-major axis 1 plus C by 1 minus C. This is the expression for the speed of planet at near point. Solving 192. What is a aerial velocity of a planet? How do we define? dA by dt. This should be equal to angular momentum by 2 times of mass of planet. What is the angular momentum? Let me write here. Mass of planet V1 R1 by 2 times of MP. So this will be V1 R1 by 2. What is V1? V1 from here, GMSA 1 plus C minus 1 by E equal to 1 by 2. What is R1? R1 shall I write A into 1 minus C? By 2 is there. So this is the aerial velocity. Okay, solving this. So what is the expression for aerial velocity? dA by dt. This should become equal to half into gms a1 minus e square. Okay, let's come for the time period of revolution. What do you mean by time period of revolution? How much of time the planet will take to go around once? Means it will start from here. How much of time it will take to go around once? Either a periodic motion, so therefore I'm interested in time period here. So this time period of revolution we can find out here now. T is equal to area of ellipse by aerial velocity. Area of ellipse how much? Pi AB. Area of ellipse pi AB. And what is aerial velocity? Just now we have calculated. Substituting this GMS. Okay, if you solve all this, that 2 everything if you adjust, that 2 everything will adjust. Pi will be there as it is, no? This A, what we can write it as? AB, no? Expression for B is needed, no? So how to replace B? I think some initially I wrote some equation, no? Let me bring that one here. We'll take this one. Somewhere here, copy. Where it gone? Not visible, huh? Okay, I'll write down, no problem. That is, so this will be A square is equal to AE square plus B square, no? So in B, B you can replace. So this will become A square 1 minus E square B square. B what you can write? Root of A into 1 minus E square. So substituting all that, B, this particular thing solving will end up with equation 2 pi A cube by GMS. So what Kepler is said, square of time period is proportional to cube of semi-major axis. That's what I shown proof here. This one. So this is only proof, not there. Nobody will ask you show the proof, since it was book in the directly given. No. So how it has come? Again, with all the things what we know, the physics, conservation of Franklin, conservation of mechanical energy, and little bit about the ellipse idea, is what we ended up this one here. So I suggest you just have an idea, that's all. Now we have to use in the numericals here. So already we know enough of thing. So what is the only thing which will help you here? Conservation of Frank Newton, conservation of mechanical energy. Okay, this is about the Kepler's law. Okay, let's focus some like any conditions. Means any conditions means like regarding the force, nature of force, regarding the nature of force. So any condition means under what circumstance Kepler's law are valid or not valid. So first we'll go for a central force. What do you mean by a central force? I think at several points it has come. So what is the central force? Like a best example is gravitational force, Coulomb's force, spring force. They are all central forces here. So it's a force that is directed along and fixed point. It is a force that is directed along the line joining the object and the fixed point here. I think gravitational force is nothing but central force, no? Coulomb's force, even the spring force. So there's a one basic idea of a central force here. Now, what is a conservative force? We have other. What is a conservative force? Work done by conservative force in closed path will be zero. Net work done by conservative force. Now the gravitational force what we have. So this much only. Don't go beyond this because again we have to go to the some vector notations. So I suggest you just have an idea of central force here. Example is gravitational force. Gravitational Coulomb's force. Yeah, spring force. These are all central forces here. Kepler's first and third law. For first, second law there. Kepler's second law. Second law is independent of nature of force. Nature of force, and it depends only on whether the force is a central or not. That's all he's telling. So it's not bother like a F is proportional to R square, should obey inverse square, nothing to do. Whether force is central. If force is central, then only torque will be zero, no? Are you getting? So if the force acts, the gravitational force between the planet and sun, if it acts along line joining the sun and planet, then only that force will intersect axis of rotation, then torque will be zero. So this is one basic necessity for the second law. It is irrespective of whether how F varies with the distance. Whereas the first and third law, first and third law what happen are valid only one force obeys inverse square law. So I think the mathematics what I shown, that is what I'm just concluding here. So when I derived the second law, did I bother about the force? Nothing came, no. But when I'm talking about the first and third law, what did I apply? I applied what? Conservation of mechanical engine. What is conservation of mechanical engine? The potential just come. Why the potential is like this only? Because the gravitational force obeys inverse square law. Finished. The what I did know, that only I'm concluding here. Please, these are not big things. The mathematics what I have no. If you make keen observation of that mathematics, this is the conclusion. I'm not bothered like how F proportional to R, proportional to 1 by R, proportional 1 by R square. Irrespective of that second law, force is central or not, only that will determine. These are things. Next again, second law, one more condition for second law. What is second law? The plane of the orbit means all points on elliptical orbit should lie in a plane. Then only torque will be zero. Second law is independent of nature of force. It depends on whether. So next again, second law. So what is again one more condition we have to put it? Second law is valid only when all points orbit must lie in a same plane. What do you mean by the same plane? It cannot shift a plane. If it shifts plane, then torque will become non-zero. Torque is non-zero, then angular momentum will not be conserved. That's the very simplest ideas. Means, what is the meaning, sir? We are not understanding that second law, all points should be that one. If this is the orbit, so you cannot take orbit like this, no? Look at these points, they lie in one plane. These points lie in plane. So it's not possible. Huh? Or sometimes it can be like this. So look at these points, they're in different plane, no? So it should not be that all points on orbit must lie in a same plane. Therefore, the is putting a conditions here. Okay, so therefore I think you have to be careful enough, like what is that particular force here? Okay, now I'll shift it to numericals. Nothing to do with what all we studied. You can see the way in numericals I do it. No, just
Sir,
only yeah.
sir, can you one scroll up?
Completed. No, I'll take the question. Before that, one more. No, if we'll finish off all the total ideas. It'll be easy for you. Now, if a satellite is revolving in a circular orbit, I'll increase and decrease the speed. When I increase and decrease the speed, what will happen to the orbits? I need a planet. I need Earth. There's a Earth, this one, and a satellite is revolving in a circular orbit. This is a satellite. Mass of Earth, let it be me. This is a m0. It is having an orbital speed, and this is the radius of the orbit. Now, if I decrease the speed of the orbit, what will happen to the? I'll decrease the speed of the satellite. Then what conditions will happen? What will happen to that orbit? It is going to describe an elliptical orbit here. The initial thing. What is the orbital speed? Gm by r, Gme by r. Is it fine? As the radius increases, orbital speed will decrease. And now, first thing. So this was the earlier circle, no? These diagrams are very important. Very good conceptual questions are there, where students find a lot of difficulty here. If I decrease this, it is going to describe an elliptical orbit with Earth as one of the foci. What is the speed? This is v1 less than v0. In fact, this should have been, if the speed were remain constant, it would have been revolving in this circular orbit. No, this will become r, no? This will become r. What is this distance? So this is from satellite to this is Earth. This will become r. The other distance will be like this here. So it's going to be elliptical orbit here. So when a satellite which is revolving in circular orbit, if I decrease its speed, if I make the speed less than orbital speed, it's going to describe an elliptical orbit. It is going to leave that circular orbit and is going to describe an elliptical orbit here. Now similarly, if I increase If I increase, I'll make diagrams little bit smaller because let me accommodate everything in one place. Now what will be the next case? So it is going to describe now if I increase the speed, if there were no change in the speed, it will continue circular orbit here, and this distance will be r. This will be r dash. Here r dash, earlier r dash less than r. Here I shall write r1 better. Call this is r2. So why it will happen? I'll give enough proof. So there's one basic necessity we should have. So if a satellite revolving in circular orbit, if I decrease or increase speed, what will happen to path? The path will be of this kind. Now, sir, I'll make, and what is the condition? This particular speed should be greater than v naught, but should be less than escape velocity. No? Otherwise, what happens? It is going to this one. So less than escape velocity, but greater than v naught. If I make equal to escape velocity, the same condition here. If I make equal to escape velocity, earlier it was revolving in a circular orbit. The planet is here, the satellite is here. I'll make its velocity equal to escape velocity. And then what will be the path? The path is going to be parabola. It will use circular path and it's going to describe a parabolic path here. Then if you make velocity greater than escape velocity, if the velocity of satellite, if you make greater than escape velocity, then it's going to be describe hyperbolic path. We don't discuss the last two cases because it's the mathematics all it's not there for our level, no. So you can just confine to 1 and 2, 3. We'll be discussing numerical. So this is what happens if a satellite revolving. There's a Earth, center of the
Sir,
Earth.
sir,
Ah,
is the path because of positive energy, sir?
that's all. No, the energy will become greater than 0.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Fine. This condition is able to remember this one. So these are very important. Means sir, like, sir, in numericals, how do I can justify this? Okay, let's take one numerical. That's all. No? Better to take one numerical itself. Sir, how do you can say? Can you show that 1 and 2 at least means like a R1 and R2? How can we justify? Let's take one numerical. Shall I scroll down? Okay, read the question. Is the elliptical orbit, as we know, what are the things? We have some formulas we can apply and we can solve it. Read the question. I'll have water. read the question first. Let me make you to read, because you'll understand what actually it is. Draw circular orbit. Earth, planet Earth, satellite. It is moving in circular orbit. Its velocity is saying relative velocity, and it's going to throw a stone. Now we'll bring the words perigee and apogee. Apogee means far away. Perigee means nearby. I'll do one thing. Let me introduce here like this. So this will become apogee, or aphelion. It is called as, or this is perigee. Now in this case, what will happen? This will become apogee. Oh, sorry. This is for other point is called as apogee. This is called as a perigee. To say that farther point, near point, no. So when astronomers, what happen? They call like this. They'll indicate this one. The farther point is called as apogee. The near point is called as a perigee. Fine. So we have to locate like where the apogee and perigee in this particular numerical will be. Let's get into the thing. First, a satellite is revolving in circular orbit around the Earth. What is the orbital speed? So here we'll take a Earth. This is a satellite. It is revolving in a circular orbit. So what is the radius of circular orbit? Let it be r. Orbital speed of that will be v0. Then inside the satellite, a particle is projected from the satellite in forward direction with relative velocity. First of all, we'll analyze this. What is the orbital speed? Gm by r. The expression for orbital speed, no? G me by r. There's a velocity of satellite here, orbital speed. So what is the stone? It is projected with a relative velocity, that is Vr. Let me write Vr. So there's a stone. So you take this as stone. What is the mass of stone? M. It is having Vr like this in the forward direction. So what is the absolute velocity of stone? So shall we use the formula like this? Velocity of stone, particle, right? Stone, or velocity of particle with respect to satellite is equal to velocity of particle minus velocity of stone minus velocity of satellite here. So what is the velocity of particle? We don't know. Velocity of this is what? Vr. Velocity of satellite is v0. Particle only. Yeah, fine. Particle. No. What is the velocity Vr? Vr is given by root of let's see what we'll get it. So what is the velocity of particle? Root phi v0 by 2. Okay, fine. This is the velocity of particle. No. Is it greater than v0? Is it greater than v0? Yes, it is greater than v0. If the velocity is greater than v0, so what should happen? It's going to leave that circular orbit and it's going to describe elliptical orbit. Will I agree? Please just do understand some things what we have discussed here. Just now I discussed, no? That only we have to apply it here. But tell me, when it leaves circular path, so it's going to describe elliptical orbit. Here I'll take the diagram. And it is going to describe an elliptical orbit. Tell me like how that Earth should be. Earth will become one of the foci. And the point where it leaves will become perigee or apogee. Will become perigee. will become I think some rough diagram, I'm able to give only this much. So I'm not bothered that satellite, I'll leave that satellite. Satellite will be revolving here. It will be revolving in circular path. That is V naught. Now let's talk about the particle. It is having velocity Vp. This Vp is greater than V naught, no? So what should happen to it? It is going to live with Earth as one of the foci, and this will be perigee. This will become apogee here. So this velocity called V1, this velocity, let it be V2. So this distance, let it be R2. Let this distance be R1. Tell me what is R1? R1 should be R, no? R1 should be R. Calculate the minimum and maximum distance from the Earth center during subsequent motion of the particle. So we have to calculate this R2. Are you able to understand? So this will become apogee. This will become perigee. Agree this? So what is this? What I should call path of particle. This is what? Path of satellite. Okay, now sir, how to get this? We don't have anybody here except what? Conservation of angular momentum, conservation of mechanical. Between what? Between 0.192. I'm just giving V1 and V2. No, let me write this is 2.2 apogee and there's a 0.1. Right. This. So what is the conservation of linear momentum? Conservation of angular momentum. Mass of particle V1 R1 equal to mass of particle V2 R2. V1 R1 equal to V2 R2, and we know R1 equal to R. So why, sir, now your task question, sir, why R1 equal to R? Already we explained the synthetical idea. No, sir, like still we assumed it. Definitely I need a mathematical proof. Okay, at least one thing we are very sure. What is that? Either, so what happened? Either what happened? The point where I projected particle should be either perigee or apogee. Will I agree? Either perigee or apogee. So let me solve it. I'll solve for R2. If R2 greater than R, then this will be perigee, this will be apogee. That one. So there's the equation 1. Now conservation of mechanical energy minus G mass of Earth, mass of particle R1 V1 square minus Gm MP R2 plus we have space here. Yeah. Solving these two equations will, what are unknown things? But we don't know V1, no? V1 is what? V1 is Vp. We know V1, we know R, V2, R2 are two unknowns, two equations, two unknowns. Solving them will get the required answer. You have to work out. It's like some. Anybody R2 value? But what to do? The other things are there, no? So GMER, you can write V naught here. What to replace with GME? This expression for V naught, can you take help of this one? V naught is what? Root of GME by R. R is the radius of that particular thing. So therefore now R1 is equal to R and Vp is equal to how much? V1. And VP value also we know it. So everything I think that GME, GME, MP will get cancelled. Even GME also get cancelled. So everything will get only R2 in terms of R, solving these two. So you do one thing, from equation 1, write V2 in terms of R2. Keep it there. Then what to do with the GME, that you should replace with this one, V0 R, and we have to solve it. Anybody value? Quadratic equation will come. I think nobody is responding. Let me go for it. GME from here, V0 square R. MP anyway got eliminated. What is R1? R1 is R. Then MP get eliminated. V1. V1 is what? VP, and is equal to root 5 V0 by 2, and this is 2. Minus GME. So this should be equal to V0 square R. This is R2. 1 by 2. V2 square, what you can write it as? V0 R by R2 whole square. Okay, now, so somebody is telling R2 equal to R, quadratic equation 5 by 3. Okay, I'll write it that quadratic equation. Solving this and simplifying all everything. So we'll end up with equation of like 3R2 square 8R0 R2 plus two values are there. Which one you are going to pick up? R2 should be greater than R1. See, like things are very easier. You can check it now. R2 must be greater than R1. Should be greater than R. So now you can ask questions, sir, on what basis you can say that this will be apogee. The point will be apogee. Say R2 cannot be equal to R. So what is only possible? This is only possible where if you pick up this is apogee, this point 2 is apogee, then this should be perigee. So therefore this distance will be R. So this will be our answer. So what is the minimum distance? R minimum equal to R1 R. R maximum equal to R2. Sorry, 5R by 3. Fine. So you can do one thing, same problem. You project with a velocity Vr root 5 by 4 plus 1, or you make the velocity of particle less than V0. In that case, what will happen? This will become apogee. This will become apogee. This will become perigee. So the particle is going to describe like this, the path. Velocity of particle less than V0. Since the velocity of particle is more than V0, it will use circular orbit and elliptical orbit with Earth as one of the foci. The point of projection is perigee. The velocity of particle less than orbital speed, it will use circular orbit and is going to describe it with Earth at one of the foci, and the point of projection will be apogee. Is it okay? If you want, you can try the same thing. You just make the velocity of particle less than V0 and see that your path will be like this. But it must be elliptical only. I'll scroll down. Let's take one more problem. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now some power gone with mobile will the problem. Okay, no, the acceleration due to this is a Earth is saying this is a Earth. The maximum height attained by the ball above the surface here, then speed of projection v naught. Okay, how to do this problem? This is a particle I'm projecting with the speed v naught. It's telling that path also. So it's going to describe here. It's going to describe an elliptical orbit, and it's going to come like this. This what happens. So this is what now. This will become center of the earth. O. All right, E only. So this will become like a perigee. This will become apogee. It will have velocity. It will have some velocity v2. This is what? v1. This will be r1. This distance will be r2. From the center of the earth, it will become this one. So what is r1? According to the formula, r1 should be equal to r. R2 will become 4r. He's asking what should be that speed of projection and what is that maximum height? This maximum height is this one. H max. H max is 3r. From the surface of the earth, we'll measure no the height. So he's asking that v naught. What should be that v naught? So what are the only options available? Conservation of angle. About what point? About the earth only. Sir, how you can say that one? Because here the force F1 will act like this. Here the force F2. Somewhere here, let's take some arbitrary point. V3. So at all the points, how the force will be acting toward the center of the earth. It's a central force. More it's a conservative force. And net torque about O is 0. So therefore angular momentum is conserved. So then applying conservation of angular momentum, V naught or V1 R1 equal to V2 R2. V naught, this is capital R. V2, what is this R2? R2 should be 4R. Not 3R, because maximum height, there's a maximum height. Please try to notice few things. So now what is V naught? V naught equal to 4V2. But what was our question? Our question is to get V naught, no? Not this equation, V naught 4V2. Let me apply conservation of mechanical energy. Minus G mass of earth, mass of particle by R or R1, mass of particle V1 square. So what is next needed? We wanted that particular V naught here. So V1 you can write V naught, R1, R2 values we know. Solving this and substituting this one, we'll get the expression for this one. So what to do with GME? GME by R square, you can write small g, no? The equation 2, I'll solve this further. This will become GME, what we can write? GR square. R1 is what? Equal to R. Mass of particle will get eliminated. Plus V1 square. V1 square is what? V naught square by 2. This will be minus GR square. R2 is what? 4R plus V2 square by 2. Solving now, this is nothing but equation 2, you write it. Solving equation 1 and 2, you'll get expression for V2 or eliminate V2, write V2 as V0 by 4, then solve for V0, you'll get the required answer. So what you're doing, this is nothing but like a path. See, not only something you can project it from here, from the surface of the earth. It's going to describe. He has given some path also. It's a little bit easy for us. There's a maximum height. And this will be answer. Check it. Huh? Shall I go for next one more discussion? Here on projectile motion will introduce in the gravitation chapter. If there's a surface of the earth, I'll throw a stone that one. Let me throw a stone. Tomorrow we'll discuss still more better numericals. Now today just I wanted to give the small idea like, now this is a earth. Mass of the stone, let it be m. Now what is the maximum height attained by the stone? I'm projecting at an angle theta, you can see it. How do it will move? Sir, what is their projectile motion? But here what happened? Here you have to take the effect of variation of gravity also. You can't just write a maximum height answer like a V0 square by 2g. G is variable, no, here. Or don't do like this, huh? Don't do like this. V0 sine theta whole square by 2g. So there's a maximum height. We are in gravitation chapter. So how do I come to know like this question belongs to gravitation or general kinematics? If they give the value of the conditions like this, radius of the earth, orbital speed or something, no, it belongs to the gravitation. In general, otherwise it should be kinematics one. So don't write this one. No? First of all, how the path? Yes, the path of this stone will be going to go ein, not exact shape. And this is that maximum height. At maximum height, how the velocity of this will be like this. I'm asking this h max, and it is projected at an angle theta with horizontal. How to get this h max? Again, I'll apply conservation of angular momentum. About what? About the center of the earth. Now applying conservation of angular momentum, mv0 sine theta into r should be equal to mv h max plus r. About, so what is this? Conservation of angular momentum about an axis passing through center of the earth. Okay, mass of the particle is m, so that will get eliminated. So v0 sine theta r equal to v into h max plus r. Equation 1. I need one more equation. What is one more equation? Conservation of mechanical energy. So applying that, minus mass of earth m r. Initially it's at this particular point. No? Interaction potential this much. Finally m v0, or shall I write v0 sine theta or only v0? Kinetic energy. The theta should not come. Agreed? H max plus r equal to m v square by 2. How many unknowns are there? V and h max. V and h max. Solving these two equations will get the required answer. Sir, now you have to ask question, sir. On what basis you are claiming that the path will be like this only? So just take help of the small ideas. So here the weight, how the weight will act. The weight mg and the velocity v naught. So it should deviate. Again at this particular point, how the weight, the force will act like this, no? And the velocity. So it should deviate. So there's a, I think you must know how to trace out the path also. It's not that something you're going to blind guess you'll make it. You should have enough kinematics approach if this is thing. This the path is what I'm proposing here. Now at various points, when the particle at various points, how the force will be like this. I think we should try with this method, no? What is this F3? It's like a gravitational force. Better don't call weight. Weight means usually we measure on the surface of the earth. Better say gravitational force. And how the velocity will be directed? The velocity will be directed like this. V2, V3, here V0. Because of resultant of F1 and V0, it will deviate. Because here, because of V2 and F2, it will deviate. Because of V3 and F3, it will deviate. And look at this one further. Because of F4 and V4, it should deviate, it should bend, no? The resultant should be like this, it should not be like this, huh? Should be like this. So like this all happen, you should verify the path. Okay, fine, it will be like this here. Then apply conservation of angular, conservation of mechanical energy. Conservation of angular about what point? About the center of the earth, because about that point, because you see that one, about center C, the force will intersect axis of rotation. So therefore, angular momentum is considered about an axis passing through center of the earth and perpendicular to plane of motion.
Sir? Sir? Sir, could you scroll up one? Yes, sir. Sir, here, shouldn't it be mv naught cos theta, sir?
Theta, okay, this one. What theta I took horizontal, huh? Okay, fine. If theta vertical, it would have been mv naught sin theta. Mv naught cos theta will come. Yeah. So there's a maximum height ascended. So in projectile motion, it should be like this. So what you have to do is here, the questions all revolves around what? Conservation of mechanical energy, conservation of angular momentum. Finish or nothing big. You have to just focus on only on those ideas. I'll give one more because everything I'm showing. So let me take one more case here. If this is a Earth, planet Earth, I'll project from certain height with a speed v0, also like a v1, such that it will graze the surface of the earth and it will move. I know this h, I'll put it 4r. Now, when it grazes the surface, what will be the speed of the earth? So what is the condition? This particular missile is projected such that it will graze the earth. So when it is grazing the earth, what will be the speed? That one, or better say rocket, or a rocket is projected from far away. This distance is far away. What will be the speed of the rocket when it's just grazing the surface of that? How the trajectory will be like here? The rocket just grazes so how the trajectory, how to predict the trajectory? I'm saying that the trajectory will be like this. So how you can justify? So let's do one thing. After some time, what are the forces acting on the rocket? So with respect to center of the earth, you draw a lines. So when the rocket is here, so how the force? Force will be F1. When the rocket is here, force will be F2 and the velocity will be V2. Here V3, F3. So here V and this is F. Justified my path. So nobody will tell you path. You are supposed to make a guess. You are supposed to make a guess. So therefore now there's a center of the earth. There's a point. At point P is going to graze here. Now about what point angular momentum is concerned? About point C only. So what is the initial angular momentum? mv1h should be equal to mvr. v1h equal to vr. What is h is equal to 4r. So what is v equal to 4v1. Don't think that only with satellite you can do it, you know. Okay, that's what the Russians, they're planning, Russia or America, no? They want to have one station outside. Then they can target any point on the earth by launching missiles from there. So that's called like a launching height. This one. From there, if they target it, no, finish, or if they just project it, no, the gravity of the earth, you can see V. What is V? 4v1. It will come and strike the earth with more speed. And in that particular rocket or pen or missiles, I'll just load what the nuclear bombs. If they come with such a high speed, definitely weapon, it's still more have more impact here. Space wars, what we say that one and all. So like that, they're planning. It'll take a lot of time, that one. This will be more safer, no? Because nobody can go and destroy this, because only few countries, what happen, they have capability to destroy things which are in space. So these are all different types of numericals will come, but everywhere the idea is what? Net torque 0 or non-zero. So this is what? Net torque. Torque is 0 about. So what should be the background for students? The background for students is like angular momentum, conservation of mechanical energy. This is what needed. With the help of this, only what is going to revolve all the numericals here. Okay, agree this. So these are some basic ideas of that Kepler's law of planetary motion only. But sir, like here, there's no planetary motion. I think we are just taking the idea of that one, conservation of angular momentum, all those things we are taking that one. In exams, what I feel, than numericals based on this first what we discussed, no. Nobody will ask you these things, sir. What all we discussed, no, nothing will come for exam. Last numericals, what I discussed, no, these are very important, like this one, application. For advanced, I'm talking about. Mains, I don't think so. They will go for problems of this kind. Tomorrow we'll discuss few more problems. So these are the types of numericals what you can expect in advance. Gravity, this maximum height, or this launching height. So I'll stop the class here. Well, tomorrow I'll do this. Friday, what happen? We'll go for this one, like a gravitational pressure, self energy, those things, because they're just only theoretical ideas. Let me focus on numericals tomorrow. Okay, thank all of you.
Sir?
Yeah.
So yesterday you gave a question, sir. There are two planets of mass m and 16m, which are separated by distance 10a. That question answer you told, no, sir. You're not getting that answer, sir.
Solve it. It's an advanced question. Not.
Sir, I solved it, sir.
Send it
Same
in.
question was given in some other book. I checked the answer, sir. It was different, sir.
Okay, I'll also check. Send it in WhatsApp. What all you did?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Recording yesterday, I went outside. Some work was there of vehicle. Today I'll upload early. Huh? Okay, fine, all of you. Take care. Bye. See you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir.